link. There we go. Cool. We got audio. Plenty of stuff to do. Let's click over here, get YouTube pulled up. YouTube, dismiss, click that, click that, click that. All right, and TikTok, let's get that pulled up. We're getting a late start. Well, not really. I'm still working. I've been working the whole time. But I am definitely taking a minute to get everything done. Let's scoot this over here. What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing good. I need to pull that over there so I can see what you guys got to say. Let's refresh this. I got plenty of stuff to do. We're getting ready for the swap meet. I'm building all kinds of other stuff. It's just, trying to get this stuff out the door. All right, both comments I can see. Let's go. All right, we can work on RG400 or we can work on a split feed. I think I'm going to work on a split feed. I was working on some RG400 before I started the live, but it was taking me too long to start it, so I just decided to just start it anyway, even though I wasn't ready. It's kind of about how you have to work. I mean, if I waited until I was like completely ready for a live and had everything all prepped and set up, shoot, I wouldn't get no videos posted. So, we're going to grab some braid real quick. It's going to be right over here. There's some braid. I got some terminals. 1, 2, 3, 4. I still hadn't bought a press. I need to buy one. Hope you guys can make it to the swap meet in Carnesville. It's at the end of the week. Hope you guys make it up. I'll be having some of these digital birds. I don't know how many left to be quite honest with you, because a lot of people are getting them. Yeah, it's definitely hard to keep up. I've got some more on the way. They're specifically saved for the event, but technically, depending on how quickly I can get my next shipment in, I might have to ship some of them off for customers who've already ordered. So we'll see how it goes. I will still have, I think, about a dozen. Yeah, I might have more than that. I don't know. But I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 7 of them is already going to be sold before the daggum swap meet. So, geez, man, I don't think I brought enough. All right, so been doing good, Frog. Waving a hand, man. Hope you're doing well. All right, so focus. Let's get focused. So I need to pull this. Need to pull. This is my insulator. Let's zoom out real quick so you guys can see. Something like that be fine. Let's make sure TikTok can see pretty good. Yeah, you guys can see fine. I will see about zooming in here in just a little bit. We'll see what we can do in a little bit. I don't know. I need. Okay, I had a lot of trouble last week. Not last week, probably 2 weeks ago, finding hardware. So I really hope that's not going to be a pain in my neck today. But I'm going to grab some. I think I've got something I can use up here. So maybe this will do it. It's a little more than what I need. Let's check this real quick. All right, you guys got any questions? You want to talk about anything? Feel free to ask. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Wherever y'all direct the conversation, we can have a short discussion on it, I'm sure. All right, this one's a little too large. I'll stick with a smaller one. I think it's fair to zoom in a smidge for you guys over there, and I think we should do that on TikTok too. So let's zoom in a little bit. Nothing crazy. Zoom. All right, so we're doing a split feed real quick, then we'll do some RG400 right after that. So if you got, for you guys that are not familiar with RG400, it's this stuff right here. I'll just set it there so you guys have an eyeball on it. This might do it for me. I don't know. Not bad, not bad. I don't mind that at all. That's not too bad. We'll see how this lines up. Not too bad at all either. So I need to find one of those that the threads aren't tore up in it. Hope you guys can make it, like I said, to the swap meet. It'll be at the end of this week. So it'll be on this coming Friday. I'll use that one, and then I'll have to order some more. Like, I gotta order these things super soon. What's up, Steven? Waving a hand, man. It's not too bad. Hey, 1137. Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, I am. I'm not on schedule. Copy 2 meters at the meet. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I think I've got you figured up. Lord, can you explain what's going on? So, I'll be, as far as what's going to happen at the event, I'm going to give away one of these, and I'll also give away one of the ones in a bird housing, similar to this one, not this specific one. I've got to hurry up and get it built, but something like this in this bird housing right here. I think you guys on TikTok can see just fine. Yeah, this one right here. So, doesn't have to be, it's not going to be that specific one. Who knows? I don't know. If I don't get it done in time, then it might be that specific one. No, never mind. That's got a special switch on the back. I'm keeping that one. 454, hope you're doing well. 1137, man. You're missing the event if you don't come down, man. We got all kinds of people coming out. I got Arkansas coming all the way out. We got Arkansas. We got Illinois. We got Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, I believe is Mississippi's coming out. Arkansas is coming out. New Jersey's coming out. North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, maybe some Kentucky. I'm not 100% sure on that. I didn't check. But yeah, man, shoot, all kinds of freaking stuff, man. It's gonna be fun. All right, so let's get a hammer on this real quick. So I'm gonna flatten these terminals out real quick. And put at least 2 of these on real quick. I don't know if I should really. Just give me a second. You guys. Oh, you little booger. All right, whatever. I'm gonna do something. I don't know if I'm gonna regret this or not. We'll see if I complain later. Have I got a piece of metal? Anything? Let me think. I gotta find something to distribute the load. That's a piece of metal. That'll work. But do I have a different piece of metal? This will work. Okay. So my vise is not in here. So we're going to see how this works. Hello from Ohio. Waving a hand. KF8BTH. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. My next amateur event is going to be in Hamcation in Orlando. But the next CB event is going to be the swap meet this coming weekend. That's too loud. I don't like that. Let me see if I can get away with this real quick. So I'm putting some terminals on this. Give me just a second. And I'll show you how to do the rest of the split feed. I don't know if I'll regret that or not. So far, not regretting nothing. Except not having my vise. Alright. If you guys want to look at the meter right there, direct your attention towards that. These are the meters, like I said. I'll be giving away one of those this coming weekend. I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I... Alright, cool. Covers all that. So, next, we've got these on here. I'll cut them shorter here in just a little bit. It doesn't really matter. We'll get it all prepped. So, from here, we will use this as our little standoff. Alright, you guys got questions? Waving a hand, 111. Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do everything. It's if anybody has got some scatterbrain, then they're definitely familiar with what I'm doing. The problem is I wasn't ready to start my live, and that kind of throws me off whenever I do that. But I mean, look at the time, man. I've got to start it. There's no question of if I can start. I have to start. Otherwise, you guys ain't gonna see no video. Let's say it that way. This is not really practical. So I'm going to use a little set of clamps, and we'll just use the clamps. We might use this as like a protector or something. This will also work. Not always, but also. We'll use a piece of aluminum, and that'll be bad. That's a nice good heat sink. And then I'm spacing it off the bench just like that. So that'll be fine. So now I'm going to do something a little different than what I've done in my other videos in the past. Not that it's like super unique or anything. Need a fire brick. No, I mean my vise works pretty good. I like it pretty well the way it's set up. Fire brick. This bench right here can handle 500 something degrees the way it is right now. So it does pretty good. No complaints. But at the same time, I can't say I wouldn't. I can't say I wouldn't try something new out. But I just haven't currently. I haven't entertained the fire brick idea out. And it'd be good for thermal capacity, especially if you got some of those ones like they do at I've seen one. It was one of the pieces of ceramic tiles that they use on the, I think it was the space station, no, the space shuttle, and that one's wild. They had it was in I think 3,000 degrees, but all along the sharp edges of the cube, it was cold enough to hold by hand, while the center part was still 3,000 something degrees. Nuts. Plenty of copper, drop it on the floor. And then clear it out the top of my shoe. Okay, yeah, like I said, you guys got questions, y'all want to know, y'all feel free to ask. Let me click play on this thing real quick. Can I play it like that? Nope. Every once in a while. Yeah, that's a good view. I like that. I was checking out and see what kind of view you guys had on TikTok. That's pretty good. No complaints. Sometimes having like some sort of ADD in general works out really well whenever it comes to making videos like this, because I have to constantly switch between the work, looking right here, cobalt drill bits and fast. Yeah, copy the cobalt drill bits. I have not invested really in drill bits too much, especially whenever I'm dealing with all different metals like I am. I've seen some really, really good ones for sure. Milwaukee is the ones I've been buying, but they are definitely not the best. I watched a whole drill bit video, and some of them drill bits held up really, really well. The problem with me is I kind of abuse them and don't really use them the way they're supposed to be used, so it kind of puts... I'd rather not damage a drill bit that's super expensive. And they might be just as good a price as the Milwaukee's, so I probably should look into it, to be quite honest with you. And the engine ducts, cowlings, that is. Copy that. Fire insulation on the 135s. That'll take some heat also. Yeah, copy that. Alright, so I'm going to clamp this down because it's just going to irritate. Well, yeah, it's just... Let's clamp it. That's just going to irritate me. I've got a really oddball clamp that I'm going to use. I don't know where I came across this thing, but it's pretty neat. It's not special, but it's just pretty neat. My little long clamp vise. That way the heat doesn't get on my hands as quickly if it does actually get hot. Which it probably will, but it'll take a bit for it. So, and also the length on this is going to help me a little bit because I'm going to do something. I'm going to let it set down over there. So now it's supported on both sides, even though it's kind of picking up my aluminum. It actually works like a little mini blast shield and shoots it over top of material. Because I am running a pretty decent sized flame at the moment. I'm going to run... No, I'm going to keep it small. I'll keep it small so I can wick. Drop that bugger down. Let's heat her up. So, there's an issue with the design that I just did right here. And that is copper on aluminum interchange right here. That makes for a very good heat conductor. So I might be complaining in a few seconds and have to build a little miniature standoff. That way I can get the two different sources separated from one another. But we'll give it a shot. We'll try it. You can see the condensation from the thermal difference right away. Cool, never seen you guys. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Just some long extended handle vice grips. I'm sure that you can find them anywhere at any normal store. So I'm going to hit this for probably what would reasonably take time to heat up the tip like this. And if it's not even remotely close, then what we're going to do is space it up. China manufactured cobalt steel and other drill bits. Copy that. Well, good to know. So it's not looking like it's looking like what's going to happen. Redskin Garage, we're building what's called a split feed for a type of coaxial connection. It's a termination for the end of a cable. So technically it would be the same way as you'd build a ground strap. So if you need bonding straps or ground straps, then you'd build them this way too. So that would be a simple solution for you. So what I have to do is I need a piece of sacrificial Teflon. So I'm going to grab it and see if this will do what I need it to do. I need a pretty thin piece. And I don't really care if it gets burnt. So I'm going to find something that's kind of junky. All right, that'll work. That works. I don't know where all my Teflon is, but this right here should do it pretty good for me. If not, I've got another one. So that's a piece of Teflon right here. Well, I don't want Teflon. If it hits too high of a temperature, it actually leaves off a noxious gas. So let's do some sort of metal intermediary. No, y'all just need to give me about 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm not playing with this. Hang on a second. Too many boxes. I was trying entirely too hard to rig something up that just doesn't need to be created. So what I did was changed it up and just went and got the vise. Because there's a lot of benefits to the thermal mass in here. Why have I got a violation? Whatever, TikTok. Apparently it says I'm trying to sell stuff. I ain't trying to sell nothing. Who cares? Alright, let's get to work. Yeah, so the vise was the solution. I mean, yeah, sure, I could have used something else, but it would have just been a pale replacement for a proper vise. So, just had to go get the vise. Alright, the other benefit, like I said, of the vise is the type of metal that it is. It doesn't wick heat as well. It's not very good at thermal transfer. So it works really good for what I'm doing right here. So, well, technically I'm kind of making ground wire. What I'm actually making is a termination. But yeah, you could say I'm making ground wire. Because it's the same functional thing. If I was making ground wire, though, this would be a mechanical crimp, and I would probably solder at the same time. For like DC ground. For RF ground, I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing right now. Alright. Like I said, just sometimes there's just no replacement for a tool that just works. Rather than trying to come up with something crazy, I could have come up with some sort of iteration of something that might work, but it wouldn't work as good as what this did. I chose aluminum because it would work good for not getting for transferring heat, but also that was the wrong metal because it's got the problem with it's transferring heat too well. Then, if I would have chose a mild steel, it's most likely going to be painted, so I'll have to deal with the paint on there. Let me bump this up so you guys can see what's going on. Da, 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 da. So, to be fair, I like to be kind of transparent when I'm doing stuff. That first 10 minutes that I was trying to work on this was a gigantic waste of time. Just get a vise. Don't try to get intermediate tools. Just get a vise. I mean, yeah, sure, I could have did this, and I could have clamped it down. I could have held it with just this by itself, because that is an intermediate metal that if it was to get hot, it wouldn't transfer heat nearly as quick. But there's just so much thermal mass here in this big vise. It'll take up so much heat and still be cool down here at the bottom. So just a better overall tool. Hand torch of my choice, probably this little Bernzomatic. You can get it at your, let me see if I got a light. There you go. Bernzomatic stylus. You can get it at Home Depot, probably at Lowe's too. You can turn the flame all the way off. You can put it up. You can cut her down to a pretty dang small flame, I'd say. Pretty reasonable. And then, if you ain't got the money for that, just throw one of these little Bernzomatics on top of a little propane tank, and you'll be alright. If you want a little bit higher temperature, throw it on some MAP gas. This will work on MAP or propane, and it'll have a little bit wider of a flame. Just depends on what you're trying to get done. I like a more directed flame. That way I can heat up what I want, instead of everything in the whole area. So let's go ahead and thread this real quick. I need to figure out what threads we got. So I'll show you the little threader tool that I use, or thread checker tool. So let's zoom out. I think we should zoom out on TikTok a little bit. Well, that's fine enough. You guys can see. Facebook needs a little bit of zoom out features. There you go. So this is just my mess from checking all those bird meters. So instead of you seeing my jumbled up mess, I can plug it in down there, get it out of the way of the bench, so you guys don't have to see it, see all the ugliness. What I use is this right here. You can get it offline. I'm sure they make a fancier one, but it's just a bolt and nut thread checker. Tells me the sizes that I got, and it's got male on one side and female on the other side. And that works out super handy for me because I can check the thread pitch if I don't know the exact size. But I think this is an 832. So let's check and see. Is it an 832? It seems pretty well to be so. Got a little bit going on with these threads. I don't know. I can check a metric thread real quick. Check this M4 real quick. And the M4 is the closest size to fitting, and the threads do not line up. So we can also double check, put it on a 24 pitch. It is not a 24 pitch thread, so it's not a coarse thread. I can check it versus this 632 and line it up. Even though it's not the same shaft, the threads still line up at the same pitch. So pretty easy way to cheat and test all the stuff you need. Not really that you're cheating, it's just you use a tool guide rather than a guessing guide. So I'm not a huge fan of doing a lot of guesswork. All right, there we go. This is what we need. Okay, so now what I have to do is something odd. This is something that irritates me whenever I'm doing this. And if you look, see, this doesn't make it. It won't fit. So what I have to do is I have to take material off of this side right here. So I'm going to cut into this real quick. I'm going to go over to that sander. I don't think I'm going to... Actually, I'm not going to take you guys with me. I'll turn the camera so you guys can see what's going on. You may not be able to hear very well or whatever, but we're just going right over there to that sander right there. There's a bunch of boxes in the way because we've been doing a bit of cleaning. We've not been doing cleaning like we're supposed to. Right over there is where I'm going to be at. We've been doing a bunch of mess making is what we've been doing. that off. Don't be stupid. Don't leave any switches on when you cut power off. So this is all we did. We just cut it down shorter. You guys on TikTok can see just fine. And over that way towards the vise would be good. Probably a smart shot to actually hit it on the vise where we're actually working. So here's another oddball that I use. Just grab a handy dandy standard water bottle. Don't have to be nothing special, but just to add it to it to get your stuff cooled down just a bit quicker. It gets nice and hot when you're sanding stuff down, so you want to at least get it to where you can manage it without burning the corner of your finger. So let's take a look and see if I made a mistake or if I did it well enough. I did it pretty well. Let me go a little deeper. Give me just a second. It won't take but a second to do it. I'm going to go just a hair deeper. Even though I have no room left, I'm going to go just a smidge deeper. I might regret this in just a few seconds, but we'll see. Alright, that's all I needed. That should be good. Like I said, we might whine and complain. We'll see in just a second if we regret what I just did. I don't think I will. A little bit of water still up here. Attach it up top. You know the cool thing about OSHA? You have to have employees to have OSHA. Appreciate you, 1137. Waving a hand, man. Propane or butane? What was the question? Sorry. Propane was what you'd use in this situation. Thank God I'm not. I just work late hours. It's just part of it. No, we're working on, you'll see in just a little bit what we're working on. It's something to do with RF. You guys will get a chance to see it if you hang out for long enough. If you don't, then so be it. I am stuck working late because I have to get this stuff finished up before the swap meet. Swap meet's this coming Saturday. But, yeah, we will get as much done as possible. Hey, thanks, Charlie. Appreciate you sharing the live. Let's pull this off so I can take a look and see how this is tightening up. It'd be great if this worked, but that's not going to work. So, there we go. That'll work, though. So now what I've got to try to do is somehow hold this in place while I'm tightening it up. But I think I'm going to go back to the vise. Should be our best bet. Hopefully this don't split on my copper. Is it coming through the back side? Let's take a feel. Just ever so slightly. That is irritating as can be. Let's take a look back here. So we're clear most of the way around. I do have to tighten it up a little bit, but what I have to do before I finish this is I'm going to have to cut this screw just a smidge shorter. So if I don't, you're the safety rep. Yeah, I am not the best. Don't 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 let the squadron see this. Let's say it that way. If they saw this, then they might get in trouble for copying some of my more risky methods. No, I try to practice at least some degree of safety, but at the same time, sometimes you're just in a hurry. So that's usually how it bites you in the butt. So do as I say, not as I do. Let's just say it that way. This is not meant as a dig towards anybody else. It's just literally, I probably should have, like, even when you're sanding over there, if you're not watching what you're doing, you can get some shavings in your eyes. When you're working with bigger tooling and stuff like that, or smaller parts, you need to have some sort of tool to hold it better than my little pliers do. Like there's lots of other like better practices you could use with more advanced tooling. Me, in my little shop, I am not a machine shop. I never claimed to be, never wanted to be, and never bragged to be. So it's just, unfortunately, the nature of the beast when you don't always have every small tool that you could use. Like, I could probably use, I don't know, 10 or 15 different style clamps, if not more than that. Alright, it's locked into place. It's holding in. That's good enough for most people, but for me, it's not. That's not, again, a dig at anybody else. It's just I do things a certain way with this stuff. So, we'll go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be here. This should hold up. I think, no, this one's the one I use for this job, I believe. I feel like this is where I had it. This is going to get too hot right here, so I have to make sure this is held up and off of this because it'll burn that. Let's rotate it this way and hold it up like that. That should be good. So, waste a bunch of water, but luckily I got plenty more to put back in there. So what this allows me to do is allows me to selectively heat certain material rather than the entire surface. Waste a bit of water doing it, but it's not really that critical. Really. Alright. Let's heat her up. So, I'll zoom in real quick so you guys can kind of see the process of what's happening. Not like it's crazy complicated to see what I'm doing now, but you'll watch it kind of. I have to get a pretty decent temperature to get this thing to bond. Alright. So, let's get to work. So I gotta be one. I got a lot of temperature to get this thing up to. Some of this material, especially on this side, if you look, it's partially underwater. So I might have to drop it just a smidge and make it shorter. Yeah, this material is already in the water. I probably should syringe or pull some of this water out, but we'll try it anyway. We'll see what happens. I've got a tester piece in there to see how hot I need to get it. The goal is to flash heat a specific spot of this while the rest of it stays nice and cool. Get off of there. So I'll hold heat on this because it doesn't really. Well, let's not. Never mind. So it doesn't matter about these extra pieces of solder, but I'm trying to locally heat one specific area. Let's line this up. I was able to pull this up a little higher. So let's see if I can get this thing tightened up. It's gonna take a hot minute, so let's see if we can rotate just a smidge. Yeah, that's working. So I'm holding this by the end of the strap and using the strap as a standoff. That works out great. Cool. So we should be able to get a lot more heat to it now without and then I've got to add a little bit more. Whoops. A little careless and burn a little bit of the if I had a little bit more of a precision dripper, it'd be nice. I'm trying to keep this in the middle, the outside of this edge up to temperature. Because then I could add water in the middle. Yeah, that was useless. Something like that would be fine. There we go. Thanks for the likes, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, I'm kind of counteracting myself a little bit with adding this water, but I've got to do it. I'm trying to locally heat this end up right here, while at the same time having everything else stay fairly nice and cool. When I've done this a couple dozen times upside down, but never in this exact position. Pretty darn happy with how this is turning out. It's working out pretty well. It's just taking a ton of heat to do it, but this takes a minute, but it is what it is. You guys can watch. I'm wasting a bit of solder doing it this way, but again, I'm not that concerned about that. And then any of the extra solder I've got in a place that I don't like, I just literally pull it out just like that. So even if I added flux on this, basically I would have do better if I went ahead and it's the heat that's the problem. It doesn't get hot enough. So it's actually getting hot, but if I had a much bigger torch and could localize the heat a little bit better, it would be even better than what I'm doing right now. But you don't want to go crazy with it. So that's why I'm doing what I do. So now and yeah, it has flux inside the core itself. Adding external flux might help a little bit, but it would help a lot better if I just changed the metal that I'm using. Let's see what an increase in temperature does real quick, because it's obviously doing a very, very good job at keeping itself cool. I've got that bigger torch. I'm going to show you guys here in just a few seconds. So, all it is it offers a little bit wider of a flame. I've used it before. We'll see if it's enough heat. And we'll see if it works faster, slower, or how well it works. This is worth the effort, but holy crap, this thing is good. So, work. Here we go. We have me being a little bit more particular on that one, but I'm happy with it. And nearly heated up the entire water on the water bank on that thing. But now it stayed cool enough. It didn't go over 200 degrees. That means I didn't mess up the dielectric, but I'm also bonded on both sides the way it's set up. So I'm not super concerned about anything at this point. So very, very happy with that. That's the only connection. Well, I have to do the other one, but it's way easier and way less thermal mass to work with. Technically, if I just had a nut on the back side, it'd be nice, but I have to keep... If I put a nut on the back side, it would be wonderful. The problem is, the way this is set up on this dielectric is isolated. And that isolation is extremely important. More important than the termination setup. But yeah. Unfortunately, second the flux, but be careful of course, like Teflon stuff, really bad when heated. Yeah, for sure. That's the benefit for what I was doing. I was actually keeping the core nice and cool while I was leaving it like this. So very, very happy with that setup. No problems. A little bit uglier of a solder joint than I like. I've did some cleaner ones than this before, for sure. If I added more flux, it might would have bonded. But what I should have done is this has got a brass core. If I clear the nickel off, the nickel has a much higher melting temperature than the brass does, and the brass would bond just fine. So I may do that on some future videos for you guys, and we'll do this a little differently. But I've done this several dozen times. It was actually a lot more heat than I had to in the past, but probably because I designed this a little bit too good. There's a lot of specific reasons I do this. This dielectric can't move. This has got to heat up. I want to keep this held in place. It is threaded in place and held on, but I want a backup plan just in case somebody just gets to hurt torquing on it. So that's why I have some solder added on there. From here, I'm not happy with this little bubble on here, so it looks ugly to me. Looks better-ish. Whatever. I'm not trying to win a beauty contest, but... So, this is how the shield will set up. So, what I should, like I said, if I'm going to do another one in the future, I'll do another one for you guys later. Not right now, though. We got too much work to do. But later on, if this methodology works, I'll show you guys the brass methodology and see if it works better than this method I've got to do right now. All right, so we need to set this on here. Let me set a different one on. I've got, where are you at? This right here will work. So setting the core on, lining this up. This needs to be on this side, this needs to be on that side. Let's bend it over, wrap it around just like that. It's a little bit annoying, but it's not too bad. This part's not super critical, it's just irritates me. Alright, 2 more ends, clean this up. Let me change that brightness up for you guys on Facebook and stuff. So, this is a RF path, is what it is. Typically, I would use a wider piece of braid. I could definitely get by with a little bit less RF current, but it's also to try to give it the lowest impedance path at the same time as not having a bunch of extra troubles. So I'm looking for the smallest impedance bump on this circuit that I can get it. So that's it can add some extra inductance when you had a wider strap, but also if you don't watch it, you can have some hot spots or some high current nodes if you don't do it the other way. So there's kind of a balance there. I could probably get by with about a little bit smaller strap, but not much smaller. So that one. Next, this one right here. So, everything is set up right here. Let's clean up a little bit of mess. If you guys got questions, like I said, keep them coming. It don't hurt my feelings. It gives me something to do. Talk to you guys, to answer you guys' questions. So keep on asking. All right, so let's do this way, like this. If you guys in the north have not met this, it kicked off my live. That's so, I hate how this crap works. But yeah, these are the spawn of the devil. These things are awful. See if I can get it to focus. Whatever. Stink bugs. They suck. Get them away. Alright, let's go back to my own live. Since I killed it. Alright. Alright, there we go. Cool. We had to redo this. 7/8 quacks per foot, it's $8 a foot. Joaquin Silva, I'm sorry I did not see your comment until just now. Nate Vias. Let's see if I can. Google Translate is your friend. Or actually, DuckDuckGo Translate, believe it or not, is what I use. So we're trying to translate something real quick. We're detecting the language. Don't get burned. Thank you. Gracias. Tell me not to burn myself. All right. So let's drill this real quick. So bump this camera just over a smidge so you guys can see what we're doing. TikTok sees just fine, so. Everybody likes to do the safety squints when you're working, even though I'm not even close enough to catch shavings. See me squinting over there. A little boog. Let's catch some with a jar. All right, so from here, we will use You guys see what's coming out of the end of these? That's actually flux. That's actually in my solder already. Ah, get over there. Whoops, don't need to do that. That's fine. Very, very happy with that. I was trying to knock up another little bubble, but it's just going to run just like the other one was. Alright. So let's put some stuff on this to cool it off. Use some good old-fashioned water. Alright, so... Alright, cool. Oh, gosh. I have some other scissors. I'll use these though. And I have some other lubricant, but I will use this. I have another one that's already open somewhere. There it is. I see it right there, but I'm not chasing that booger down. Alright, there we go. "7 centimeter band collinear antenna with a few pieces of 1/2 inch copper pipe for the radiators, a 1/4 inch solid copper rod for the radials and coil. Do you have any advice?" 7 centimeter you're going to have fun with. So 7 centimeter you're going to have narrow bandwidth to play with. So you're going to have to watch several different things that you got to watch out. You're going to have to watch out for. Biggest thing, whenever you're doing it, is just try to make sure that you have a good piece of test equipment so you can actually measure it and see what frequency you're on. You also want to check for what's called near field ground interference. That would be typically when you're within the field of the antenna itself. 7 centimeters not to be too bad. You just gotta back off from it. You just can't be touching it while you're trying to tune it. And like I said, there's more to it than that. But all right, let's see if I can hold into this. Hands of precision. Going again. Appreciate you, Cracker. Waving a hand, man. Thanks, thank you. I did not see your comment until earlier. Thank you, thank you. It is absolutely appreciated. All right, so like I said, what we're doing right here is finishing up this this split feed, this termination right here. So this is a termination for like your gamma or your hairpin or anything like that. So this allows you to be sealed in your connection while also not having not sacrificing a connector or something. So whenever you do a traditional split feed, you'll cut the wire, and the split feed itself will have to be sealed in some way, and it's exposed to the weather, and it's just not a good design. There's a lot of companies that still make a terminal-based hookup, so this allows you to hook up to a terminal-based hookup while still having a sealed coax. So that is the plan. That's the whole point of this stuff. No problem. Kevin from the Arizona Backcountry Explorer. Appreciate you, man. I hope it helps a little bit with you, for sure. I'm not sure what all type of experience you have on antenna design. You can also look into a couple different platforms. There's a company called EasyNet that allows you to design and model an antenna. So that is a modeling software. So you can throw in a couple different specs, designs, and things like that for something that's for you to be able to kind of model it out before you actually do it. Don't trust that it'll get you there. Trust that it'll get you close. But yeah, for sure. That's a couple different ideas for you, at least. Something that might help a little bit. Let's find out. Whoops. Get that back in the shot. TikTok, I think, is zoomed out. Let's zoom you guys in. What happened there? Well, we got plenty of people in here. Sorry, TikTok. It screwed up, and I wasn't able to see how many people are in here right now watching the live. So let me check your guys' comments out so I can respond to you guys. I don't want to be disrespectful and not get to what you guys have to say. Hey, thank you, Mitch. Or Michael, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate you for sure. All right, so we're getting in our own live. Pausing the video and seeing the comments. There we go. What's up, Bubba? What's up, RV? What's up, Wayne? Hope you guys are doing well. You guys were kind of making me think TikTok was slacking over there, but no, it was all me. Apparently, for the guys who did see my live earlier, I apologize. I screwed up, and if you're on TikTok and you don't pass a puzzle within about an hour, it's actually exactly at an hour in on the live, it automatically ends your live. It doesn't count as a strike against you or anything like that, but your live's just over, and you gotta start over. So, unfortunately, the way I work, I'm working over in this area, and you guys are way back over there. So I can't really find a way to get you guys closer. So it's unfortunate, to be honest, but it kind of just is what it is. I'll do the best I can to keep the content good for you guys, but I've got to still work, so there's no getting around it. So if the center conductor spins on this back, I don't care about that. That's fine, because it's going to be screwed into a connector, and that's no problem because we're using Teflon right here. We got Teflon right here, and Teflon has a very low friction coefficient. So that very low friction coefficient, unfortunately, causes a myriad of issues when it comes to holding a good press fit, because it's just super slippery. We're gonna go this way. I think should be fine. All right. Not really trying to get a lot of bonding going on the outside. Mainly just I'm not worried about all that. I can clean it up. Mainly just in these threads. But I just wanted to have a little bit of a backup plan just in case something didn't work out for me. Whoops. Well, I made a mistake. I dumped all my water out. All right. This is finished and complete. See how the split feed's set up? So we have a connector on one side, we have a split feed on the other. And that's how she's all set up. That is probably the most time consuming versus how much money I make connector that I build. I need to find something new and do something a little bit different on that specific connector. Other connectors I do pretty good on, but that one I lose my butt on that connector, to be quite honest, for how much time I put into it. Alright, let's get some RG400 done and let's answer the rest of your guys' questions. Thanks for the live, appreciate you. Hello Smarmy, hello Bubba, hello Wayne, hope you guys are doing well. Let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see some of this build process. If you guys like the live, feel free to touch the tap your screen. It is definitely very helpful on YouTube, on TikTok land. So I would appreciate it a lot. There's a bunch of you guys in here hanging out, so thank you, thank you. We're working on some communications equipment right here. Like I was doing a termination for that split feed earlier, and now we're finishing up some coax. What's up, Darvin? What's up, Bubba? What's up, Wayne? Hello, hello. If you guys got questions about it, feel free to ask. All right. So the way you solder, whenever you're connecting any sort of connections together, is you want to add heat to the source itself. So I'm going to turn this off, turn it back on. So I'll have an iron like this. We'll go ahead and add some water to my sponge. We'll clean the tip because we don't want a bunch of junk getting in there. KE9DOX, waving a hand. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Rudy. Appreciate the follow. We're working on some RG400 right here. So you want to hold heat on the source like this. And you will add solder to the source like that. You don't add solder to the iron, you add solder to the source. I could do it and hold this up, but alright. Now you want to get the shield bonded to the body of this connector. And the way I do that is I get it a little hot, just like this. And we'll heat that booger up. And you're watching for it to wick in. Copy that, Reginald. Yeah, you can see me in that the face cam on that on TikTok now. They ain't got the camera. It keeps kicking my live off. My from another place twin. I think everybody's got one of those. They got a twin or somebody looks like them. Now, when my beard was cut significantly shorter, I got all the time. I got what the heck was it? It was Tim Tebow. That's who I got. I got him all the time. I had a goatee going on, and it was just like, man, I about could have signed autographs because how many people told me I looked like him. But grew the beard out, a little bit of orange in there, and you can't really pass it no more. I get several people that look at me and see my beard and be like, "What the heck?" They said, "Something's not matching up. We got brown hair and we got orange beard." All right. You guys got questions? Like I said, y'all feel free to ask. We're just adding heat to the source, and what we're doing is waiting for that to wick in. So we want it to stay nice and hot. We want it to wick into that body of that shield. Perfectly fine. Came out great. No problems with that. I'm going to clean it up just a smidge just because I can. That'll be fine. Next. I don't know if that's still in the shot. That is still in the shot for Facebook, but I don't know about TikTok. Sometimes when you get the solder that kind of rolls off to the top like that, it becomes a little bit of a pain because it tries to travel around the exterior of the connector. That's fine. I ain't worried about that one. I was looking at it a little closer, seeing if I needed to inspect and modify that. What's up, Scanner? What's up, Bubba? Wayne? She bonded all the way around. Let's take a look on your guys' camera and see how zoomed in it is real quick. Yeah, that's not bad at all. You can kind of see how it's going like that. Bonded all the way through. So, let's do a few more of these. I got to get these things done. And you guys can see how it's done along the way. I've got to do the work anyway. Might as well let y'all hang out. But yeah, you guys got questions. You want to know what the heck this stuff is? If you guys have ever been in an airplane, you've dealt with this stuff. This is RG400. It's a coaxial cable. It's commonly used over towards the cockpit, but a lot of times it'll be run throughout the plane itself through their communication systems out to their antennas and things. It's got a very low friction coefficient, so it's very, very slippery. So you can have expansion and contraction from going up and down in altitude. And it'll just slide around the panels without catching on anything and getting damaged. Your normal PVC jacketed coax will end up getting damaged from stuff like that. So this stuff is pretty nice for that reason. So it's a fluoropolymer. There's the exterior jacket. It's good for probably 500 plus. It's good for 500 degrees according to the manual, so it's not probably, it is. It's rated at handling 500 degrees. Exterior shield is a double braided shield with silver plated copper on it. Center conductor, same thing, but it's not double braided. It's just a single stranded center conductor. I got a little too fancy for some guys, but appreciate you guys checking it out nonetheless. Let's go back the other way. Let's say we're working on communication stuff. Let's just say it that way. Some guys like the explanations. Other guys are like, yeah, it's too fancy for me. If you guys would like me to keep explaining, let me know. I will kind of judge it by who hangs out and who decides to leave based off of what you guys want to know. Because we can make this simple and just show you guys how to solder, or we can make it more complicated and let you guys see some more stuff. I'll bump this camera over just a smidge. Boom, boom, too far. Too far. Sorry, we're playing some camera work right here. I got the gimbal over there working on overtime. I need to get like a control for the. Well, actually, I can modify it. Now that I think about that, I can modify how the gimbal settings work. Are they all the same length, or can you make them longer? I can make them longer. So I can do longer or shorter. So when you work with stuff like this, I can do, what I typically do is phase matching and velocity factor cuts. So what that allows me to do is allows me to run very specific setups. Like this one right here would perform optimally well around 13 megahertz or so. But it also functions in an inverted fashion at a different frequency. So this is upper HF is what I'm building for right here, but they can be built for whatever frequency. Copy the pretty robe. We got to get you. Tell him, hey, it is time. I have claimed the spot. I have to get you keying on Cletus, and then tell him, hey, it's my week for the pimp, and the scepter and the trophy. Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend, man. It'll be fun this coming weekend. Swap meet should be great, man. We're doing giveaways, or I'm doing a giveaway. The event's going to have its own giveaway. There is another giveaway or raffle per se on that one coming up for another piece of equipment. Like all kinds of people come from all out, so that's pretty cool. It should be awesome. It's the last event of the year that I go to. Next year we will be going to. The second event I'll be going to is Hamcation. First event should be going to maybe something else. We'll announce that as I figure out whether or not I can make it or not. I'll try. So someone posted on the forum today that wanted a breakdown of velocity step by step. It should. All power to them. Anybody can try to learn as much as they can. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But there's definitely I've seen a lot of wrong ways to do it. A lot of wrong ways to do it. TikTok, yeah, it did. Steven, it got it. I restarted it though. So what happens with TikTok is if I'm doing a live, and the way it's set up, you guys are over here, and you guys are over there, right? The problem with that is TikTok wants you to be present and wants you to be interacting with the people, and I am, because I've got this set up on a separate monitor. I'm able to respond to your guys' comments. It's just set up for me to work on a workbench, right? And they're mainly set up more for like somebody having a selfie camera and showing their makeup tutorial and everything else like that, right? So whenever you try to use the better camera, which is the back camera, you start sacrificing stuff. It also doesn't invert the picture when you use the back camera. But if I'm not sitting there holding the phone, babysitting it, about an hour into the live, what happens is it'll actually it'll pop up a puzzle, and that puzzle will go for about 5 minutes. And after that puzzle's gone, and I don't pass the puzzle within 5 minutes, it kills the live. So I have to sit there and babysit the video screen just so I can pass the puzzle about an hour into the live. So I haven't yet, but I need to start setting a timer that'll beep at me here. Just a little simple, basic timer that says 1 hour, little push button, and push the button. That way I can keep track of that. Every great once in a while, about once a week, once every week and a half, I can go live and put you guys on TikTok on the little face cam. And that is, of course, the significantly more enjoyable video. because that's on my main setup, my main little streaming rig. So I can pop my little face camera on, I can pop my my video on and everything. It just works out great. It's so much nicer. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, there's something on TikTok's algorithm that just doesn't like it. I don't know what it is. I've yet to figure it out. But it keeps killing my RTMP access. Complicated words, but it's remote something protocol or whatever. It just allows me to hook up to the computer and go live. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Right now, I've got a system that works pretty decent. I probably should save my live for Saturday. I actually am going to save my live for Saturday. I don't know when I'm going to go live. I'll probably go live later on the day. I'll go live on like regular phone stuff. I'll probably just use phones is what I'll probably use, to be honest, now that I think of it. But yeah, it should be a good event. Like I said, we got people coming from all over. Alright, so doing our dielectric right here. I'm not talking a whole lot, sorry. It's a little late. Alright, TikTok. Questions. What you do for get cardboard crown one time. Copy that. All right. This work's got to get done regardless of whether you guys are here or not. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, checking out the video, watching what's going on. I hope you guys like it. I've got to do a piece of 1/2-inch hardline after this, and then I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but I need to go ahead and get my butt on the way on it if I'm going to do it. I might make some high voltage safety sticks and some other stuff for the swap meet. I need to make some samples is what I should make. That would be smart. I'll make a sample. Can you take this home with you? No, but I can ship you one. That would be smart, probably. Now, I will have some digital birds, and you'll be able to take those home with you. That'll be fine. Yeah, man. Yeah, shoot, man. It should be great. I mean, yeah, absolutely. We've been there with it just barely anybody showing up. I've been there every single year, so very, very happy to support it through the RF supply. Also, nice. That came out great. All right. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, some people that know me know that I own multiple businesses, but other guys that don't, I don't really get super into. I try to keep my businesses as separate as possible, just simply because it's just they're two separate entities. So it definitely confuses a lot of the people that know me because they're like, "Hey, man, what about this one? What about this business?" But that's why you guys hear me say a lot of the stuff that I do. But like I said, I'm very, very happy to support it for sure. It's a great and excellent setup. I'm very it should be fun, man. I look forward to this event every year because it's just a good setup. All right, so what am I fixing? I'm working on some RG400 right here. So this coax right here is commonly used in aeronautics and aerospace. I'm converting it over for HF use. It's a 50 ohm coaxial cable. It's used to transfer RF signals from point A to point B. And what I'm doing is the way I'm building it is that I'm making it as close to invisible as possible so that it does not affect the system. So I offer phase matched harnesses. I also offer velocity factor cut setups for whatever frequency, especially if you're a mono-banded guy. If you're a multi-band guy, it's not super beneficial to you. Like if you use like a, but if you use like mono-banded for multiple applications, like you say you have one setup for say 2 meter, one setup for 6 meter, one setup for something else, or you're an 11 meter guy or something like that, works out great for these people. Where I've built I don't know how many RG400 jumpers in the past couple days. Ugh. I'm finishing up the my bench the way it's set up. You guys haven't been able to see. I didn't get to announce it, and I can't really do a whole lot of videos on it. But that's just a few of the RG400s that I did rewiring my bench. But oh my gosh, it's been something else. I think I did 17 ends the other day. Friend has a 69 Suburban 3-door that I'm thinking about buying, 60,000 miles, making to a roll-top mobile. What are your thoughts? Nothing wrong with it. As long as you got between 72 and like 100 inches of roof line, you should be able to have a lot of fun with that. It should be great. Extremely simple mechanical motor, no electronics built in. Should be awesome. Yeah, should perform very, very well, especially the way it's put together and set up. It would be a very, very cool setup. The only issue is the roof line's not quite as long on the 69 as what a lot of the really probably I think it's 78 or so. I don't remember when they started getting longer from the 3-door to the full size 4-door. I don't remember where that swap over was. You'd probably know better than I would. But the extended roof line is a little bit better, but on the square bodies, and you call a square body whatever the 81 to 89 on the Suburbans, but the body style before that was just as long. I don't know what those numbers were. My best guess is I think it was probably, what is it, 79 something back. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't follow the generations of the Suburbans back that far, but they've been around for a lot of years. Probably should. Wouldn't hurt to know. But no, it'd be good. Tahoe will still work just fine. The vans still work just fine. So with just a regular 1500 van working great, Suburban should do awesome. That's even the 69 Suburban. Appreciate it, man, for sure. I wish we could have done more, but there's definitely some really cool people up there that deserve it. I know some people that took off work for weeks at a time going up there, shut down their whole business and brought excavators and all kinds of stuff up there. I wish I had enough financial freedom to be able to do some of that stuff that they were doing, man. It was wild, man. It still is. I know some people still doing some stuff to help them. There's a fellow named Sambo. He's doing a lot of the portable buildings and stuff. He's been setting up homes for people for like almost over a year now. 6'7". Where the heck is 6'7" at? I know the 6'7" joke, but yeah, aren't you supposed to like strike a pose after 6'7"? All right, we're soldering on this connector right here. We need to hold enough heat in order for this to bond and wick in. We are the I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure we're the boring dad section of YouTube, but I think it's cool. It's like you watch those videos where you got like some sort of bridge or some sort of something getting moved or whatever, and then you see like a parking lot full of people, right? And then everybody's just parked or whatever and minding their own business, but you got all the different dads that are just sitting out there watching this big thing get moved with their arms crossed or whatever. Just they got to see whatever the heck's happening, what's going on. And you'll see them start to collect. There'll be 1, then there'll be 2, then there'll be 3, then there'll be 10. That's what my YouTube reminds me of, or my videos remind me of. Hey, what the heck's going on? Let's see what this stuff is. I think I am on most platforms 99% male. I think I'm 98 or 97% male on Facebook. Not discounting the ladies that follow me. I appreciate you guys. You guys are cool. But that's just what it reminds me of, my videos. All right, you can do it, buddy. Thank you. It's all do it 6-7 songs too. Copy that. Yeah. I think people just trying to make a bunch of different edits on the videos, what made it popular or whatever. I did some research on it a while back. I'm like, what the heck is 6-7? And then they had a bunch of NBA guys and a lot of different popular sports guys that kind of started dropping the 6-7 name, because what they would do is they get a lot of these guys that did really, really cool and really good video edits. So what they would do is they'd say that, and they'd come out with a video with a bunch of edits on it of their highlight reel, basically. So it was just a way to get them a free video made. So they'd say that, and somebody'd make a video for them. Now, of course, the original origin from the song, I don't know as much about that. But as with all trends, there is a source behind all of it. I am on the more stable side of TikTok and YouTube and everything else. I'm do the same thing, build this stuff, show you guys how to do this stuff, do some DIY tutorial stuff, explain some technical aspects about this stuff. And then if you guys enjoy it enough, you guys hang out and watch the video and follow me and stuff like that. If they don't, then they're here today and they're back on their next trend and checking it out. So I'm super grateful for the guys that watch my videos. It does not hurt my feelings at all. I don't want to be this big mega viral dude. I would rather be like niche viral in my own category of the stuff that I do. I'm not trying to compete with some person shaking their butt. I'm not trying to compete with somebody coming out with like the most hilarious video ever. But I am trying to make my own, I guess you'd say, brand or my own style. But this is all me. There may be somebody else that does something similar, but I would say I'm fairly unique at what I do, especially with some of the stuff that I give away. Like in my line of work, it's very much hold your secrets, don't tell anybody anything. Nobody needs to know. You build it, they shut up, they give you money, and that's it. And if they start asking questions, you're rude, you're disrespectful, and you just tell them to shut up and run what you made them. Like, that's kind of like the norm and the standard for the RF community. And unfortunately, it's pretty toxic and it sucks. It's a bad place to be. It's a bad form of business to make because all you're going to do is piss off your customers and eventually make them lose interest. And in a community that is based off of people who enjoy a hobby, if you ruin the hobby for them, then they're not sticking around. So that's definitely happened since this stuff has been around since the really closer to the 20s, but 30s and 40s really started getting popular. Then 50s and 60s started building up even more. Then blew up in the around 76 or so. And then you had the CB guys, the ham guys benefited a lot from a bunch of CB guys coming on, because you had several guys move up to the ham world. Then CB community benefited tremendously because it was just a boom in itself. Everybody had a radio in their car. It was just an enjoyable time period for that. But lack of knowledge with techs, some stuff going on and changing as a fad, all kinds of this stuff. I haven't been checking them out, Cracker. I've been missing them out. I have been hearing about them pulling off some upsets whenever I was listening around on roll call and stuff, because there was several guys were talking about them pulling it out the daggum, pulling a cat out of the bag on some of these situations when they should have lost. Do I also repair two-way radios? I do not repair two-way radios. I can get you a company. I'm a supply company, so I can supply you extra components. But I can also give... How did I do that? This is the only one that didn't have anything on it. Let me grab one real quick. Give me just a second. Alright, this has got one on it. We're done with that one. That one's finished. This one needs to be finished. This one needs to be finished. I got two ends right there. That's fine. Alright, it was literally just that one that wasn't covered. Give me just 1 second. Grab two parts real quick. But yeah, I can give suggestions. You just message me on any of my platforms. If you message me on my page, I will give you some suggestions on companies that you can look for to help repair your equipment, or to either, if you're looking for specific equipment, I can even help you find that equipment. So, like I said, I'm an RF supply company, so I supply the components. When it comes down to doing small radio repair and stuff like that, I will not get into that. It's just it's too time consuming. I am very capable. I'm just not able to. I don't have the time. That's not to be disrespectful to anybody. I just don't. It doesn't exist. There's not enough time in the day because this is not my only business. I own another business too. I know of I don't use a big soldering iron and some salt. You need to solder up using a radiator for a car. It's not the same. Is it worth harvesting the copper out of wires? To some degree. Hang on. So help these fellows out to solder what they need to be using on electronics. Tell them please stay away from the big solder. Yeah, stay away from your solid core solder. That's one thing. If you guys want to know how to work on electronics or work on smaller coaxial cables and things like that, this is not your plumber solder. You won't be using acid core by any means. You're also not going to be using the big stick solder, just simply because it doesn't have a rosin core. Hey, thanks for the like. Appreciate you. Absolutely. But it doesn't have a rosin core. What am I doing? Let's tighten this up real quick. I know of a company, no names mentioned, that had the output tuned on an amplifier. Yeah. Yeah, there's people that can do that for sure. And some salt. Yeah, yeah. Do. Hey, thanks for the heart. Appreciate you. Thank you. Ankle. Mikeson. I don't know. I'm very country, so my accent sometimes betrays me. I try to say people's names properly or usernames properly, but sometimes I won't do it very well. Yeah, you can do some radios up in apartments. BA up in Pennsylvania, he runs in his roof. He's got about 6 foot off the top of the roof, or maybe 7 or 8 foot off the top of the roof. He's got, I think, a 6 or 7 element beam. And then he's literally in the middle of like Philadelphia and a bunch of row homes. So you can do it. I know a guy in Canada. He operates an antenna system and everything out of an apartment, and he is, I want to say he's like 20 stories up, or either 7 stories up. I don't remember. It depends on copper price, to be honest. If you have wire and it's coaxial cable, and it's like in decent shape, message me. I always buy stuff like that. As far as harvesting copper, it's a lot more particular nowadays. When you harvest copper, you have to like sign all kinds of stuff. You have to prove where you bought the copper from. There's a lot of other stuff that there's a lot of legalities involved now that'll give you a pain in the neck on actually like you getting scrap copper. So I don't know if it's worth it nowadays or not, to be honest, because unfortunately there's been quite a few people on drugs that decide that they want to snatch some copper, and rather than the junkyards taking it and getting busted for having like the power company's power line and stuff, or the power company's transformer that somebody else took from them, now they're just not accepting them. So it depends on where your area's at, and if it's rampant with a bit of drug activity, then there's a possibility that it might be a lot harder to scrap than you think. So just depends on what you get. Depends on where you're getting it from. Sometimes it's just not worth it because they're not paying you much above or not letting you buy it for anything much less than what scrap value is. So if it was mine, what I would do is try to save as many receipts as possible, and then have a big collection of it. I wouldn't take it small batches at a time. It's just not worth it. It's from Jumper Cables. Just weigh it. Also, you want to check and see if it's copper clad aluminum versus copper. So if it's on a jumper cable, you want to like scrape pretty deep into the wire. And if you scrape pretty deep into the wire and it's white or silver, that means it's copper clad aluminum, and it's not worth hardly anything. It's just worth aluminum price. What's that meter? This is a, if you're familiar with your Bird 43 right here. So that's a bird meter right there. this is a, let me see if I get enough coax. Over here is a converted bird meter. So I'll bump the camera up just a smidge and scoot this over that way. And scoot this over this way. So you see the meter movement, you see the housing, you see the old setup. That's how it kind of works right there. I'll just set the movement on top. I need a little bit more length on that. Right, so I'll snatch that thing off of there. For the guys on Facebook land, my little face is in the way. But yeah, you set it like that so you guys can see what's going on. Alright. I'm crowding myself out so you guys can see what's going on. Two more jumpers, and then I might be caught up. And then I've got to finish a piece of 1/2-inch flex. That one's going to Hawaii. Then I've got to finish up some brackets. I'll get those done. And then hopefully we'll be caught up for the event. And I won't have anything else coming up. I'm not super caught up, but I'm caught up enough where I can save it until this coming Monday. So. But yeah, this meter will read average. It'll read peak. It'll do maximum, minimum, instant, deviation, and a few other things. But you can also go into the menu. You can change the measurement, and you can move the range right here from 2x to 4x. This one right here is on the old firmware. This is on the newer firmware. So you can check the range right there. We got averaging. We can change a bunch of other settings and all kinds of other stuff in the menu. Let's check and see if I got a puzzle. I do have a puzzle. In 3 minutes and 18 seconds, my TikTok would have got shut down. I'm so happy I thought to check for that puzzle. It would have killed my life. Getting ends put on for the cards from the order. Thank you. For sure, man. Appreciate you. Alright, so all the coax I've done here on this video so far have been cut to velocity factor. So that's cutting the coax to where it's going to be invisible for the system. It'll match the impedance as if it were connected directly to the feed point. I don't charge for this, nor have I charged yet for it at all. I'll just do it for free. At some point in time, I might charge for it, but right now it costs you a total of $0. All you have to do is pick your length wire, and then I build it. Of course, if you told me your intended frequency of operation, that would probably make a lot of benefit for you. So let's get some more material right here. I want to finish with this coax, because if I finish with this coax, then I can be done with that whole setup right there. Then I'll be freed up to do more work. I've got a high voltage wire I'll be building here pretty soon. I'm pretty excited about that. I've been wanting to build a high voltage wire for a while. That's correct. It's a digital RF digital meter that you can retrofit your bird. I carry them through my RF supply. You can also get on a wait list with the manufacturer. I think his wait list is December right now, something like that. but I have some more. I'm at the swap meet. I'll have several for sale. I sell them on my website right now. So if you was to order one, you can order it off on my website. Typically, lead time on anything shipped right now, no matter what it is around 2 weeks. Even if you're just ordering something as simple as a meter, just simply because it's just hard to get the stuff out of here quickly while getting everything done for the people who've been patiently waiting. So don't be in a super big rush if you want to get a meter. You're welcome to get one, but just give me a little bit of time to get it out the door. Don't. I've got several people that's excited, and that's cool. But that's the only negative is it don't take me too long. Like coax, the meters, custom meters and stuff like that should only take a couple of weeks. I've got a lot I've got to get done right after the swap meet. I think I've got 3 bird meters to do. I've got 3 digital bird meters to do. I've got 5 movements to ship out. I've got I don't remember what else. A bunch more stuff to do. Dimcraft, thanks for the like on the live. I appreciate you for sure. Thank you guys on the TikTok land, and the YouTube land for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you guys get the hankering or do find that you enjoy the content, please feel free to subscribe to me on YouTube. That would be great. Just simply because YouTube takes forever to grow, and I've got a bunch of you guys watching my videos. So, hey, if I can get you guys to hang out, that would be nice. So, thank you for everybody who watches them. I've had a bunch of people frequenting my YouTube here lately, so very happy for that. You guys on TikTok, I think TikTok, it slowed down a little bit, but my TikTok went from like nothing to like 2,000 in like 3 weeks. It might have been 2-3 months. Excuse me, not that it wasn't that fast. It was 2 or 3 months, but it was wild. Now I've got like, I don't know, 3,400 or something like that on TikTok. That's plenty enough for RF community. I'm not like trying to beat these people shaking their butts and stuff like that. We're showing you guys stuff that you can learn from, and as long as you guys enjoy it, I'll keep doing the videos. For me, a good number on a live, 100, 150 people on a live, that's a good number for me. That's like ridiculous. We were hopping. Instead of being like a video game where you got 2,500 people hanging out in a live and stuff like that, it's just not the same. It's a niche hobby. You guys that enjoy this stuff, you're part of a very small community, which is very cool. And I think I can definitely say that I appreciate each and every one of you, because there's only so many of you out there, and you guys are awesome. All right. Hello, I'm Marson. Waving a hand, man. Hi, right back to you. All right, Marson 7062. Let me say it the right way. So we're soldering right here. We need to add heat to the source and add solder to the source. So if you've ever seen anybody TIG weld, what they do is they add the filler, the material that they're adding in, they will add that to the pool that's built up. They won't add it to the tip of your tungsten, right? So the same concept applies with this stuff. You're not adding solder to the actual iron, you're adding solder to the source. Sometimes the source is too close, like the end of that connector, and you have to kind of hit the iron a little bit. but for the most part, that's kind of the same goal. It's very, very similar to TIG welding, but it's just a lot lower temperature. All right, that one's done. Last one to finish. This is the final one of the night. We will call it a night after this one. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I have no complaints. I like to try to keep my orders going out at a pretty timely manner, the best I can. But I'm running realistically. I'd like to say, and I've been trying to say that I was 2 weeks out, but just to be quite honest, it's about 3 or 4 weeks most of the time. And now 2 weeks would be fine on just like a movement, just ordering a movement, or maybe even just ordering a bird. I could probably do that too. But when you're talking about custom harnesses and stuff, I've been offering a little bit more custom harnesses than what I used to. So I'm building custom brackets and all kinds of other custom stuff now. So I've got a whole collection of material right here that we're actually doing and setting up with insulators and spacers and standoffs and things like that. So that stuff takes time. So the biggest thing you got to do with a double braid like this is you've got to pick it all the way through, pull the braid out, and then you can throw the braid back like that. Once it's nice and straightened out, and you got to put an insulator on here to make sure it's not going to damage itself because you're using a reducer on this wire. Thank you, Demcraft. Appreciate the like on the live. Alright, so appreciate. Hey, thanks, Frog. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I had somebody that was doing some videos at one of the events I went to. And I'm like, oh no, this person's doing videos and I'm going to offend them. And I don't know, I need to stay away and I don't need to bother them. And I kind of need to do my own thing because I do videos at these events, right? So I'm trying not to be disrespectful to them. I already had a little bit of a bad experience at one of the events that I went to. It wasn't this year, it was last year. But overall, I've had good experiences, but still a little bit of a bad experience, and that was with another person doing videos, right? So I automatically assumed that this individual was going to have a problem with me just because I'm kind of cutting in on and encroaching on whatever they're doing, right? When in all reality, I'm just trying to support the hobby. I don't care. I'm not trying to bother nobody else, right? But turned around and started talking to him. Probably the second day in, walked up to him, said hello, introduced myself and stuff like that. Like, yeah, man, I watch your videos all the time, man. It's cool. I appreciate you. I'm like, oh man, really? I should have just went and met him. So, don't ever assume in situations. Try to just confirm for yourself. If somebody's going to be a jerk, they're going to be a jerk. Don't get gun shy on people being a jerk and never associate with anybody. Because there's plenty of them that's not a jerk, plenty of them that's friendly people, and are absolutely worth being around. So it is worth putting yourself out there once in a while. I'm not a very extroverted person, so I'm not the type of guy that you'll catch me walking up to the store and be like, "Hey man, how you doing? How's your family been?" Blah 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 blah. I'm usually the guy that's going in the store, getting what I need, going back out. And if you waved at me from 150 foot away, I would never see you. And it's not me being disrespectful. It's just I'm focused on what I'm doing, and I'm not out trying to look for people. I'm just working and doing what I do, keeping my head down. So these videos definitely are a completely different thing for me. But the way I see it, I went to a few of these events, and they were kind of like a networking thing to start with for my business and so on and so forth, right? But then after going to the events for enough, I'm like, hey, I like these events. I enjoy these events. And then talking more and more, these guys are just not, they're not going to these, they're getting old, and there's not as many people doing these events anymore. So now the goal has kind of shifted. Rather than networking, it's been more along the lines of promoting. So here I am using my platform the best I can to promote a whole nother aspect of the RF community. And that's kind of been my niche. Like I'll promote building your own wire, setting your own stuff up. I'll promote, I'm going to be going to some Ham Fest next year, and I'll promote the Ham Fest. You guys come check out and see what deals you can find at these events. So I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff to promote. I did a teardown at a commercial broadcast station, and I really, really, really wish I would have videoed that. I could have showed you guys all the different broadcast equipment. I could have showed you guys how all this stuff set up. I mean, there's a commercial side of things too that you guys could see. That would have been awesome. All right. So we are all finished for the evening. We finished this jumper. We finished this jumper. This jumper. This jumper. This jumper. This jumper. And this jumper. So now I've got to put some brackets together. I've got to prep one of these digital bird meters for the giveaway that's going to be happening this coming Saturday. I've got to set aside one of these digital meters right over here for the giveaway that's coming this Saturday. And then I've got to, hopefully, if I can do it well enough and quick enough, I've got to ship out this coax to Hawaii. It might be tomorrow before I can do it, but I'm going to try to do as much as I can. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the video. It's much appreciated. If you guys enjoy the video, definitely tap the screen or click like or whatever it takes on your platform that you're on. If you enjoy it enough, feel free to follow me. I do videos like this Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. It's appreciated. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you, Wayne. Appreciate you, Trucker Jeremiah. You guys have a good one. I am out of here. I've got some plenty of work left to do. I'll be back tomorrow on another live doing this stuff all over again. So, catch you guys later. See y'all. Y'all have an excellent evening. See y'all. Oh, that's a bunch of likes. Thank you guys on TikTok. You guys are awesome. Now, that's my TikTok sounds. Alright. Oh, I get to show y'all guys the fancy screen on Facebook. I don't know how to stop that sound, but we'll